As with all major Valve updates of any kind, the first shipped update isn't cleaned 100%. Valve, usually in the haze of crunch time packaging, forgets to remove all pieces of unused, unimplemented, or replaced content, and TF2 Jungle Inferno was no different. First of all, let's go over what I call strings. Lines of text that range from file references to in-game flags that can set everything from weapon abilities to maps visual effects. Code that allows TF teams to grant both war paints and quests. Code that allows players to create and add synthetic members or bots to their own party. Code was added alongside war paints for what is called stickers, with rarity and shiny variants, and the ability to adjust fine details of the sticker's look and color. These stickers are almost identical to the ones in CSGO, so the use would likely be as well, allowing for virtual stickers to be found in specific cases and then stuck to any part of almost any weapon. Strange map token prefix data was added for not only the new maps, but also Two Fort, Dust Bowl, Upward, Badwater, High Tower, Gold Rush, Groot Keep, Thunder Mountain, Cold Town, and Manhattan, along with a currently unobtainable map token bundle number 13 that comes with every available map token. Code referencing an unused spy taunt called Art of War was found, including making the spy react to the acquisition of said taunt. Art of War being from the Workshop by Poplus and Greg. And this is along with in-game assets for Arvoir, Sneaky Feet, French Revolution, and Hoodoo Hex, all taunts for spies, and all from the Workshop. A side note, Hoodoo Hex has appeared in the code before, back in 2015, before Scream Fortress, along with many other taunts that did eventually make it into the game. And now, Hoodoo Hex appears again. Also, something from that time makes it back into the files as well. It's called Taunt Sant, and it looks like this. And I don't know what this is. It's a taunt, but it's a marker in a notebook. It's appeared before, and it's back. I don't know what this is. The con tracker and the campaign entirely, for that matter, has appeared to be changed dramatically. Now, the entire campaign internally is called CYOA, or Choose Your Own Adventure. And initially, the campaign was to be unlocked by a purchased key. The key itself we have assets for, and on the key itself it says Decoder. Essentially, this key was supposed to be inserted into the PDA that you were given, and it would unlock contracts. However, according to the background data for the PDA you would be using, it appears to be, at least once, themed around international espionage and surveillance, as there were supposed to be different levels of contract screens, and with each subsequent level, the map background got more specific, going from international to national to county. It also appears that these contracts would instead result in cash, according to these icon files. However, the specific files are called metal, so maybe those were placeholders. And a smaller detail is that the PDA once had a dial with 4 selectable options. Beeps and boops from this era are found in the game, along with the fade-out sound that was supposed to be heard when you turned off the PDA from that era. What's most interesting about this era is that the PDA you were using played music. It seems like you were supposed to be spending quite a long time within this PDA. And the music files that were used are still in the game's files right now. And the coolest thing about that is that these are stripped down versions of TF2 soundtrack files. In regards to the modern con tracker, there are still a few unused sounds, some beeps and boops that have just gone completely unused. So why was the campaign so dramatically changed? Well, according to these files, even the Team Fortress team intended on releasing the initial campaign in the summer, as the 3 new music tracks that were created for this update are labeled in the game's files as Operation Summer 2017, and they likely delayed to overhaul the PDA, which was either far too ambitious or they just didn't like the system. Now, in regards to in-game items, 7 weapons were found within the game's files. These appear in the new workshop section that the team implemented for organizational purposes, and were likely left in because they created this new directory and copied everything over from the dev branch without checking. A few of these weapons have appeared in the files before, so they are either A, leftovers from old updates, B, cut parts from this specific updates, or C, and the least likely, being tested for future updates. We have the models, materials, and background images within the game's files, and they are, according to their file names, the Assault Minigun, the Mini Dispenser PDA, the Pilot Flamer, the Pilot Flare Gun, the Pistol Knife, the Sniper TV, and the Specialist Scattergun. Now, all of these are on the workshop, and things like the Pilot Flamethrower are actually the Afterburner, and these were all removed from the game's code 2 days later in the update that launched yesterday. There were also 3 unused styles of the Yeti Park cap, being a Mercenary Park cap, a Bananas cap, and a Poopy Joe Never Forget cap, along with a Yeti Park hard hat, which is totally not the potato aperture hard hat, just reskinned. There's no reason these shouldn't be, and I want a Poopy Joe hat. Okay, so what about actual future updates? Well, we know that competitive changes will eventually happen and are still being worked on, and added within the code of the game were matchmaking groups, including competitive 6v6, 9v9, and 12v12. Well, what about Scream Fortress? Well, I can't promise anything since it's so close and the TF team has been working their asses off already, but Halloween was added as a game category after competitive 6v6 within the code, along with specific in-game text changes to the Halloween Pass and Gargoyle. Trade-ups for skins do have code in the game, and an unused variant of the Yeti head texture with a decapitated head model was also found. Lastly, a single interesting texture, Moonbase Great 001. And if you want to be able to listen to all of those music files that are all stripped down and super cool sounding, it's like the normal stuff we're used to with a bunch of stuff missing. It's like acoustic Team Fortress 2. It's all on my second channel, Valve News Extra. And if you also want to be able to see just another good video on the Jungle Inferno update, my new fiance, I recently proposed, Electra, put out a new video on Jungle Inferno on her channel, Electra Barnett. Link to that down in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Tyler McVicker. This is Valve News Network. Have a good day. Adios.